Hello, my lovelies. How are we? So, I'm just going to give people a moment to get the link, to get the notification that I am live. Welcome. I'm going to pause for just a few minutes. I just want to go online and make sure that my sound is okay because I'm recording from my phone. I'm just going to go on my laptop real quick and just make sure everything's okay. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I see we have a few people joining already. So if you are already here and you can hear me, can you leave me a comment? Put a 1 in the comment box so that I know that you can hear me well. If I don't get the 1, I'm going to assume you guys can't hear me and I'm in panic. So please let me know if you can hear me. Are my comments even activated? Let me see. Can you lovely people hear me? If you can hear me, can you put a 1 in the comments? If you can't hear me, I'm just going to assume you can't hear me if I don't get any comments. Let me just go online and double check. Hi, Laura. So you guys can hear me? Okay, that's good. That's good. I need to find myself on my laptop first, so let me just... There I am. So as I wait for people to join me, it would be really great if you guys could sound off. It'd be really great if you guys could let me know where in the world that you are watching from. So if you're here in London with me, say I'm here in London. If you're in New York, if you're in South Africa, wherever you are, let me know in the comments where you're watching from and I will start sharing tips soon. But I'm just going to allow a few more people to join us. I literally just sent out the email link, so I'm assuming it's going to take some people a while to join me. Grace End, you're only up the road from me, Laura. So yeah, today today is day 1 of the Sleep Deprived Mums Baby Sleep Extravaganza. Welcome, Amrit. So glad that you're here from East London. I'm a South Londoner. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, basically today is day 1 of the Sleep Deprived Mums Baby Sleep Extravaganza. My aim and my intention with this Sleep Deprived Mums Baby Sleep Extravaganza is to help any mums who are seriously sleep deprived and want to kind of start improving sleep but are not ready to do any sleep training, just feel a little bit overwhelmed and a bit by the whole sleep training phenomenon, and you just want some tips that are easy to implement so that you can improve sleep before Christmas. Because I know when Christmas is coming, the last thing you want to do is start any kind of sleep training regimen or start implementing new tips and techniques, because there are so many variables around Christmas. There are lots of events that happen, you know, your daily routine tends to go out of the window, and so sometimes in the run up to Christmas, trying to implement changes that are going to eventually become permanent can be a real challenge, because it can be really hard to be repetitive and consistent. So my aim with the Sleep Deprived Mums Baby Sleep Extravaganza is to share tips with you that make life a little bit easier for you in the short term, just until we get into the new year. And then hopefully, if you are regularly and consistently implementing the tips that I share with you, by the new year, you should either see a massive improvement in sleep, so good that you won't need to do any kind of sleep training, or you'll see an improvement that's enough to help you get the sleep that you need, but you'll probably still need a few tips, hints and suggestions and a few tweaks here and there to make the improvements to sleep that you really, really want. So the idea behind the Baby Sleep Extravaganza is to empower you, support you, help you understand what's normal when it comes to sleep, and help you do some things that can nurture really positive and predictable sleep habits in your baby that makes life a lot easier for you and your baby to navigate. And then once you feel a little bit more well-rested and a little bit more confident, hi Vicky, welcome from Erith. Once you feel a little bit more confident, then you can start like researching or sticking with me, and I can tell you ways that you can really cement sleep training and help your baby to improve the way that they sleep. So today we are going to be focusing on how to cope when you're sleep deprived, and also some of the things that we can do to help set your baby's circadian rhythm. So as you're coming in to the broadcast, it would be really great if you could tell me where you're watching from. Also, how old is your little one? It would be great if you could tell me how old your little ones are. And if there's anything that I'm saying that you think, oh my God, this is such good information, I know somebody who needs this, please feel free to hit the little box. I think it's on your left. I think it's down there. Or it could be there, where you share it, and it will share it on your live feed, or you can actually pick individuals to share it with. But it would be really helpful if you could share this out. So if you could do that for me, that would be great. So as you come into the broadcast, let me know where you're watching from. I see Amrit's joined us, Vicky's joined us, Laura's joined us. Let us know where you're watching from and how old your little one is. So to kick off, because I did promise that I would try to keep these videos as short and sweet as possible, we're going to be talking about how to cope when you're sleep deprived, and also ways in which we can help to set your baby's circadian rhythm, what the circadian rhythm even is. Hi, Yolanda, welcome. And your little one's 5 months old. Oh, how sweet. How sweet. So it's the second mum from East London. Welcome. And Amrit, your baby is 4 months old. Have you hit the 4 month sleep regression yet? Has it hit? It might not have hit. It might not even impact you. Hi, Lucy. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So for those of you who are new to me, I just want to introduce myself, because some of you are regular followers of me already. Some of you have no idea who the heck I am. My name is Charmaine Walters. I'm a mum. My daughter is about to turn 18. So I'm about to be free. Yeah. Not yet. I still got 6 months. Oh, your little one's 20 months old. That's amazing. So as I was saying, my name is Charmaine Walters. I'm a mum, I'm a night nanny, I'm a baby sleep coach, I'm a parent sleep educator. I have worked with babies, toddlers, preschoolers and their parents for almost 20 years now. I have worked in various roles in early years. I did start off life as a nanny, then I became a nursery nurse, then I became a night nanny, and I kind of transitioned between night nannying and nursery teaching. And then there was a time when I was actually doing both. So as you can imagine, I've worked with families for over 20 years. I've worked with little ones for over 20 years, and I have learned a heck of a lot about sleep. The main thing that I have learned about sleep is that getting your kids sleeping through the night is just the first hurdle. Sometimes we get them sleeping through the night and everything after that is plain sailing, and sometimes we get them sleeping through the night and they start waking them again. So my goal with the work that I do is to help and empower parents with understanding what is normal when it comes to sleep, helping parents to understand that sleeping through the night, it's definitely a goal that we all aspire to, but that's not the end goal. Sometimes there are other things that we need to do as well. Not sure if she's having a sleep regression or teething pain. At 4 months old, it's quite unlikely to be teething. It is probably a sleep regression. If you are watching this and you want to know more about me, do feel free to go along to my website. It is soundlysleeping.co.uk. I have lots of free resources and information on my website that can help you get more sleep. So you don't need to come and join this if you don't want to, although it would be massively helpful for you if you do. Again, the website is soundlysleeping.co.uk. Do feel free to go and check it out. I have a free resources page with free videos that I try to update as regularly as I can to help anybody who is seriously struggling with sleep. But my goal is to help you to understand that the way that our little ones sleep it's to help them understand. Not to help them understand, what on earth am I talking about? Is the way that our little ones sleep is basically designed to help them and support them in the first 2 years of life when they're doing lots of growing, learning, developing, and equipping them to live equipping them for life in the outside world without their parents. And unfortunately for us, when babies are born, it's almost like they're blank slates, and we have to teach them various things in order to learn how to live in life in the world outside the womb. Now I just feel like I'm waffling, so you know what? Let me just get straight to the freaking point. So today I wanted to talk about ways to cope when you're sleep deprived and things that we can do to positively influence the circadian rhythm. Now, the circadian rhythm is basically your daily cycle. It's like a clock that goes round, and it governs physical, mental, and behavioural changes in a daily cycle. So as you can imagine, 24-hour cycle, our body goes through various changes in that 24-hour cycle. And the circadian rhythm governs many other things, but it also governs when we wake and when we sleep. So if we send our brain messages that help the body clock or the circadian rhythm to know and understand what's going on in any given moment, we can help to set our little ones' body clocks so that their wake times and their sleep times become a lot more predictable. We basically want to set that clock to help us to teach our babies when is the right time to wake up and when is to sleep. So those are some of the things we're going to be covering over the next 5 days, and then I'm also going to be sharing with you other various tips as well that can massively help to improve sleep. So today we are focused on self-care when we are sleep deprived, because I often find that sleep deprivation for parents is the number one barrier to sleep training for them. They are so tired, so overwhelmed, brain is so frazzled by sleep deprivation that it can make it very, very hard to take information in. It can make it very hard to recall that information once we've taken it in. It can also be hard for us to stay motivated and consistent. So some of the tips that I wanted to share with you are going to help you while you're in that sleep deprived state. And if you can function while you're sleep deprived, then you're going to find it a lot easier to help your baby get the sleep that they need when they need it. So I hope you've got your pens and papers ready, you lovely mummies and daddies. I know there are some daddies that are going to be joining us too. Also, what I was going to do, or what I will do, is if you are watching this and you haven't registered, I shall pop the link in at some point so that if you want to be notified of when I go live for the remainder of the week, that you'll get the email prompts. I'll email you every day to let you know when I'm going to be live, and then I'll also email you afterwards so that if you don't catch me live, you've got a direct link within the email to the video for the day. And then also what I thought of doing was actually creating a separate group so that those of you who are joining me every day, if you have questions specific to the tips of each day, then that you can ask them within the group and that I can get you the answers that you need. Even though this is going live on my Facebook page, I thought at least if I put the videos within a group for you guys to easily access, and then those of you who are joining me every day who have questions, at least I know that if you're in the group, I can prioritize the answers to your questions first, and then anybody who joins us can then join the group later. So right now I'm going to be sharing with you some sleep tips. So if you are really struggling with sleep deprivation, I just want to let you know I understand wholeheartedly just how debilitating sleep deprivation can be. Hi Roslyn, how are you? Thanks for joining me. Please share this with your mummy friends, that'd be hugely helpful. So as I said at the beginning, at the top of this video, I've worked as a night nanny on and off for over 20 years. And a night nanny is somebody who goes in and helps and supports parents overnight with the sleep of their little ones. So basically, I just go in overnight, take over care of the little one for the parents so that they can catch up on sleep. And I'll often do things at night to help and encourage and support good, positive sleep habits overnight. But in working nights and sometimes during the day as well, I have experienced firsthand, not just as a mum but as a night nanny, just how tough it is to function and live your life when you are sleep deprived. So I have some tips for you that are going to be really, really helpful for you if you are someone who is sleep deprived and you don't have a night nanny, or you don't have somebody who can come in and give you respite on the odd occasion, and you're literally functioning on about this much sleep. I'm going to share with you some tips that I've used to help me cope with sleep deprivation and to help you to just function a little bit better and not allow sleep deprivation to ruin your life completely. So tip 1, when you are sleep deprived, it's really, really important that you eat breakfast quite quickly after you wake up, and that you eat something that releases energy into your body slowly. So when you're sleep deprived, you will often crave sugary foods. The amount of times I've left my night nanny job and gone straight to McDonald's for breakfast, it's not even funny. The first thing that you want when you're tired is you want things with sugar. You want things that taste good and that help you to feel better. Yeah, nights are hard work, Rose. See, Rose here, Roslyn, one of my friends who's joining me live, she is a midwife and she understands all too well just how tough it is to work nights and the impact that sleep deprivation can have on you. She knows it all too well. And those of you who are watching now, you'll know it as well. So the first tip is to eat a breakfast, firstly within an hour of waking up, and that will release energy slowly. It is really, really tempting when you're sleep deprived to grab sugary foods. You are probably going to want to eat croissants, pain au chocolat, all those lovely, sweet, delicious tasting things. But the downside to eating those things is that they give you a spike in energy, but then your energy crashes afterwards, which then results in you feeling even more sleepy. So the goal is to eat breakfast within 1 hour of waking up, and to make sure it's a slow release breakfast. So things like oatmeal, porridge oats, egg on toast, fruit, things that can release energy slowly. What you don't want to do is spike your energy and then have it drop, because that drop makes sleep deprivation feel so much worse. So that's tip number 1 that I wanted to share with you. Tip number 2 is try to drink as much water as you can during the day. Keep your hydration levels up. One of the things that I found is that when we are dehydrated, it makes us feel like we're hungry when we're not, which then leads to us grabbing sugary food, snacks, chocolate and the like. And it often contributes to feelings of tiredness. So if you're drinking water frequently throughout the day, it's not going to stop you feeling tired, but it will help stop you feeling overly tired. And it will prevent you from overeating as well and reaching for those sugary foods that make sleep deprivation feel even worse. Tip number 3 to cope with sleep deprivation is caffeine intake. Be careful about your caffeine intake. It's really tempting to go straight for coffee when we're sleep deprived. I am a complete tea addict. I love tea. Tea is my go-to. Coffee is my second go-to. But the downside to that is that if you are really sleep deprived, you can drink more cups of coffee than you actually realise. And that in turn can actually make it more difficult for you to get to sleep later in the day when you do want to sleep. So try to limit the amount of coffee that you're having to 4 cups a day. This is even more important if you're breastfeeding as well, because that caffeine can be passed through your breast milk. So try to limit the amount of coffee that you have to 4 cups a day. After that, switch to decaf, and then stop drinking coffee by 3 p.m. Anytime you're drinking coffee after 3 p.m, it's going to make getting to bed and getting to sleep for you when you are allowed to sleep really challenging. So limit the amount of coffee that you're having during the day. This is a tip that I learned quite recently. I found out just over the weekend that caffeine takes 20 minutes to get into your system. This is a tip that I learned from a lorry driver. Lorry drivers can often drive for really long hours. They often have to drive throughout the night, and they can often be impacted by sleep deprivation too. And this was shared with me by a lorry driver friend of mine. So his tip is that if you're feeling really sleep deprived and you really think, you know what, I need to get some sleep, but I'm not gonna be able to get the sleep that you need, the tip is to drink a cup of coffee, drink it quite quickly, and then have a power nap. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, I've got a baby, I can't power nap. So the idea is that the morning nap that they're going to have, right before it's time for you to settle them, drink your coffee and then go to sleep with your little one. Now, if you only get half an hour, 45 minutes, that's great, because it means that when you wake up, you're going to feel a lot more refreshed, because 1, you've had some sleep, and 2, that caffeine or the coffee that you had prior to going to sleep, the caffeine will have kicked in by the time that you wake up. So you'll wake up feeling a lot more refreshed and a lot more alert. That is a really useful tip. I used it. I only learned about it this weekend. I used it this weekend and it works really well. So the tip is to have a cup of coffee right before you settle baby for their first nap, and then go to sleep with them. And then when they wake up from that first nap, you're much more likely to feel a lot more alert and a lot more with it, because you'll have had your coffee and you'd have had a little power nap before the caffeine kicks in. I've forgotten what tip we're at, but I think it's at tip number 5, and it's a really common tip that gets shared a lot, but a lot of mums ignore it, and I'm going to encourage you to follow it through. And the tip is to sleep when your baby sleeps. I know a lot of us don't do this. We think, oh great, I can wash the dishes now, I can reply to those emails. But you know what? Those emails are still going to be there. The dishes are still going to be there. The hoovering, the laundry, and all of those other things that you think, oh, I've got to do, they're all still going to be there after you've had the sleep. The beauty of doing it after you've had the sleep is that you're going to feel better, and you'll probably whiz through it a lot faster. If you're anything like me, when I'm a little bit sleep deprived, I try to multitask and I do a very bad job. So I'll do things like start loading the washing machine with darks, then I'll go into the bedroom to see if I can find any more dark clothes, and then I'll decide to sort all the other colours out, and I'll find that I've not loaded the dishwasher, not sorted out any laundry, and I spent a lot of time not doing anything, when realistically if I'd have just gone to sleep, I would have had a lot more mental clarity and I would have just got the jobs that I needed to do done. The housework is always going to be there. You'll wash the dishes and guess what? A few more will appear later. But sleep is something that will make you feel better in the short term. So if you are able to sleep when your baby sleeps and nap when your baby naps during the day, do it. Please do it. Take the sleep that you need. You will feel so much better for it, and you'll whiz through the laundry, the washing, the emails so much faster once you've had sleep, because you'll have a lot more mental clarity. Another tip that I want to share with you guys, if you're sleep deprived, is that you will often find that when you're settling your baby in the early evening, that first chunk of sleep that they do will actually be quite good. So a lot of parents find that they'll settle their little ones down at 8 p.m. and they won't really hear anything from them till about midnight, 1, 2. Some mums will hear from their little ones earlier, but on average, you'll settle them at 8, 7, 8, and you often won't hear from them until 1, 2 in the morning. Go to sleep when they go to sleep. It's often really tempting to, want to sit down and watch TV uninterrupted. Nobody's saying you can't do that. But if you're in the habit of staying up later, it feels much, much harder if you're then going to bed at 11, 12 and then your baby's getting up at 1, 2 for a feed. It feels much, much harder for you to cope with them being awake. They've had that much more sleep than you have. However, if they're going to sleep at 8 o'clock and you go to bed at 9, it means by the time they do wake up at 2, you'll have had a good 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. And so you'll feel a lot better. It will be a lot easier to be more consistent with them as well when they do wake up. So that's a really, really good tip. Often ignored. Please take advantage of it. It's a lot easier to do as well if you're the parent of one baby. If you've got 2 kids, it can be much harder to sleep when your baby sleeps, because sometimes you've got to entertain the toddler, or sometimes you've got to put the toddler to bed. So it's really important that you get the sleep when you can. As I said, the washing, the dishes, the emails, they will all still be there tomorrow. So get the sleep while you can now, because you'll feel better later as a result of getting the sleep when you can. And, I did that one already. Sleeping, get sleep and drink lots of water. Right, so now I want to talk about sleep tips for your baby. And this tip that I'm going to share with you today, it might seem like, how is that going to help my baby to get more sleep? But if you can implement this tip repetitively and consistently, i.e. as much as you possibly can, it will make life a lot easier for you. Now, at the top of this live stream, I spoke about working with your baby's natural body clock to help and encourage them to sleep. And working with their circadian rhythm and helping to set that body clock helps your baby's body to recognize when it's time to wake up and when it's time to go to sleep. So have a think about your own practice before you had a baby. Let's say, for example, you're in the habit of getting up at 7:30 every morning to go to work. That's the time when your alarm goes off. It's the time when you open the curtains, you turn on the lights and you start your day. And because you're in the habit of starting your day at the same time every day, you often find by the time the weekend comes, even though your alarm hasn't gone off at 7:30, your eyes still pop open. And the beautiful thing about the weekend is that before we had kids, our eyes might have popped open at 7:30, but we didn't have to get up. Now you have kids, you do. But my point is that if you notice that your body clock gets used to being awake at a certain time because it's what you've done for the first 5 days of the week. I mean, to be honest, if you are working, you've probably been getting up at 7:30 or the time that you get up for work for a lot longer than that. But my point is that your body clock knows what time to wake you up because it's become a habit. Your body becomes aware of social clues, environmental cues, and things around them that indicate to your body it's time to wake up, and so your eyes naturally pop open at 7:30. So get into the habit of waking your baby up at roughly the same time every day and be deliberate about it. So this is what I do when I'm working with my clients. They might be waking up prior to the wake up time. So say, for example, it can be quite common for babies to wake up at 5 o'clock for a feed and then we settle them, or maybe even 6, and you're thinking, well, they're up at 6 now, there's no point in setting them back to sleep. I still do. What I do through the night is I keep it as dark as I can, so that no matter what happens up until 7 a.m, which is when I wake them up, it's still nighttime in their eyes. So I keep the room dark. If they need a feed, I feed them, and then I settle them back to sleep. Regardless of what's happened in the run up to that, come 7:30, I open the curtains, I turn on the light, and I say good morning, and I'm really exaggerated about it. And then I start my day with my daily interaction. So I'll go downstairs, start making breakfast, I'll do a nappy change, and my regular daytime activity begins. And the reason why we do this is because the light is an indicator to the circadian rhythm. Your behaviour, your social, the things that you do socially, is an indicator to your body clock. And because you're doing this at the same time every single day in the same way, opening the curtains and starting your day, it becomes a cue to your body clock that is the time to wake up. So this is what I want you to do with your little ones for the next 10 to 14 days if you can. Get in the habit of starting your day at the same time every single day. So that could be 6, it could be 7, it could be 7:30. Open the curtains, turn on the light, start the day with a feed. Let your baby's body know it's daytime now. Light is the main influencer of the circadian rhythm. And if you can turn the lights on so that the body recognizes it's daytime now, eventually, after regular and consistent implementation, that's the word I'm looking for, the body clock will start to recognize that. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. My aim with these videos is to give you the information that you need when you need it so that you can implement it and then get on with your day. So those are the tips for you. My name is Charmaine Walters. If you haven't stumbled across me before and you're wondering what the hell this is, I am a night nanny and a sleep coach, and this is day 1 of the Sleep Deprived Mums Baby Sleep Extravaganza, and I'm sharing with any mums who need help or who are sleep deprived tips that can help you to improve your baby's sleep without any sleep training whatsoever. This is perfect for you if you're sleep deprived, if you know nothing about sleep training, if you're feeling unmotivated, tired, exhausted, but you still want to improve your baby's sleep, then this baby sleep extravaganza will be perfect for you. Today's day 1 and there'll be 4 more days of information. So if this is something that you stumbled across and you want to get involved in, I'm going to put the link in the title of the video. All you need to do is click into it, register your email, and then every day I will email you to let you know what time I'm going to be going live and also where you can catch the replay. So I'm just going to go through some of the comments in here. Freddie is actually sleeping well now. He's 2.5. We used the tips which you mentioned a long time ago. The book, which has had his bedtime routine, and going out the room for 1 minute and back in again. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me, Laura. That's super helpful. And I'm really glad that you found those tips really useful. And those tips that Laura used to help her 2.5-year-old sleep, as you can see, they're not traditional sleep training methods. They are things like making sure the bedtime routine is in place. I shared with her creating your own bedtime book for your little one. It's really, really good with, for toddlers, which is basically creating a personal storybook that you read with your toddler that just is like a signpost or ways of letting your toddler know what happens in the bedtime routine in the same order and then doing it. And I find this tip works really, really well with toddlers because it's about them. It's repetitive and consistent, so it builds familiarity at bedtime, and it just basically gives them a visual representation of what happens at bedtime to help them feel secure and to feel relaxed. I find it's really good with toddlers, especially toddlers who like to use delay tactics or that kind of stuff to stop you leaving them at bedtime. It's really good for them because it helps them to understand what's going to happen now, what's going to happen next. And if you do have a toddler who is anxious, you can include a page in the book that says to them, when I wake up, this is what mummy will do. So it's an extra layer of reassurance and support for them at bedtime. I often find with toddlers and preschoolers, if they're resisting bedtime, it's a lot of the time, it's not anything to do with them not being physically tired. It's more an emotional need or connection that they are seeking with their parents, or just extra reassurance. So if you can help to calm and soothe their emotions and help them to feel secure, then they will relax. And that's what I aim to do when I work with parents, help them to understand why their little one is struggling and resistant and help them to create a solution around that to help get their little ones to sleep. So that's all I wanted to say in today's tips. I did say I'm just going to try and keep it to 10 minutes long, and I've already been here for half an hour. Really sorry about that. I will try my hardest to keep these videos short and sweet. Also, what I wanted to say as well is if you are really struggling with sleep, if your little one's sleep has got you feeling like a failure, if it makes you feel overwhelmed or inadequate, I just want to let you know it's very unlikely that you've done something wrong. The way that your baby sleeps, or the fact that your baby wakes up through the night, is normal. Really tiring, but it is normal. But there are things that you can do to help and encourage and support your baby to sleep well and peacefully through the night. And that is what I aim to do with the work that I do, is to help parents understand what normal sleep looks like for the little ones and help you to understand how you can nurture and encourage positive sleep habits without just leaving our little ones to cry on their own, or without having to use sleep training if you don't want to. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Take care, and please do, if you stumble across this and you think, oh, this is really great information, this could really help a friend of mine, please do feel free to share this link or this video with them. I'm going to go now, so I will see you all soon. Be sure to register if you want to know when we are going live again tomorrow. I email everybody in the morning to let them know when I'm going to be live so that you can join me. And I will make sure also that if you missed the live video, that I will email everybody who signed up so that you know where you can access the information later. All right, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.